Hypothetically, if I was tied to a chair and I had a gun pointed to my head and I would not make it out of there alive unless I answered this one question correctly. And the question was the new Fable game, the protagonist, male or female? I would not only bet my life, but I would bet everything, my savings, my I don't know what else, but everything on the fact that the lead protagonist, the main character who you will play as, would be female. I told myself this the first time seeing Fable revealed in 2020. I ended up being right. But this video, and I know based on the thumbnail, you might think it's about the main character who we will play as. It's actually not. I have done some digging, everyone, and in this video, we are going to talk about why I'm a little bit worried about Fable 4, why it could come out and suck. All right. It started with when it was announced in 2020, and we are in 2024 now, halfway through 2024. And it made me start to think, whenever Microsoft has a long development cycle for their games, it's usually not because they're in the oven cooking and getting good content and making sure it's the quality standard is there. Usually it's because their game is going through development hell and contractors, studio heads leaving and then hiring new people and switching directions and switching microtransaction directions. So I did a little digging, and it's actually not in development as long as I thought it was, I think. So let's get into it here. I'm going to pull up some stuff. So who is making this game? All right, let's start here. So in January of 2022, the co-founder of studio director Gavin Rayburn, and studio director Gavin Rayburn, left Playground Games to open his own studio. Now, Playground Games is the studio who is making this Fable game. You may remember them from Forza Horizon, Forza Horizon 2. We got Forza Horizon 3. Did you guys know there was also a Forza Horizon 4? Oh, and Merry Christmas, Forza Horizon 5. And that's not including the motorsport games made by Turn 10. So, a car studio is making a sim racing studio is making this RPG Fable game. Okay. So, the studio head, Gavin Rayburn, he left it in January 2022, and now Trevor Williams replaced him as studio head. All right, so we have Gavin Rayburn. He is the mastermind behind he is very good when it comes to racing games. All right. So let's go here. Let's check at Forza 5 release date, or Forza Horizon 5. It came out November 5th, 2021, and he left January 2022. Now, at these companies, these game companies, they like to have these long holidays. They'll leave in November, December after they launch their game, and they won't come back until like early February or something like that. So, all right. Fable was announced. Fable was announced in 2020. It might be pre-development because since we have Horizon 5 still being worked on until the end of 2021, and it probably wasn't actually in full-on production with all the developers until early 2022. Why did we get the launch or the trailer in 2020? There could be a couple of reasons. Microsoft just needing to pad their conference that year to make it seem like we got games, buy our Xbox, we have games coming, when they really haven't even started working on that game. They could have just gotten maybe they just sent over some artists to work on some pre-concepts, and because that's what a lot of people do, or studios do. They say, Like it might be, for example, 2015 and their game is coming out in 2015, or their game is coming out next year in 2016, but we started working on a game in 2013. They did that with CD Projekt Red. They said they started Cyberpunk in 2013, but The Witcher didn't release until 2015, and then they started working on Cyberpunk after The Witcher. So from 2013 to 2015, who was working on Cyberpunk? And really, I just think it's a couple people bringing up concepts, ideas, storylines, nothing major. So I don't think this game really started to be worked on until almost 2 years after they officially announced it. All right, so November 2022. So where are we at? June 2024. Or November 20. February 2022. We're at June 2024, okay? It's been almost 2.5 years. 2.5 years, guys. That's not a long time. It's not a long time for a big open world RPG, or if you consider Fable like action adventure. It's not a long time when it's a car racing sim developer developing a whole new genre for the first time. It's not a long time if they are using a different engine like the Unreal Engine, but with more further research, I believe they are using the same engine that they used with the Forza Horizon series. So that might speed up some things a little bit if they're familiar with that engine. But still, right now, 2.5 years. It says it'll come out in 2025 at most. If it came out the end of 2025, which I doubt, that would be 22, 23, 24, like almost 4 years of development. I just know, knowing Microsoft, I know they're going to delay it till 2026. But yeah, let's look at the guy who has taken over the guy who left. Trevor Williams left. Let's see who took him over. Gavin left. Trevor Williams took his place as the studio head. All right, so right here, I'll have you take a look here. Trevor Williams, this is the guy who is now spearheading Fable. He's the studio head of Playground Games, and the thing is, we don't even know if they want to make this game. There's been 5 Horizon games, and maybe Microsoft is finally like, you need to make something else. Who knows if they want to do this? But let's get into his games here. Forza Motorsport, like the 2023 one. So they were also helping with Forza Motorsport that came out a little over a year ago in 2023. So also taking time away from Fable. All the Forza Horizon games, we have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1 with the DLCs. We have 50 Cent Blood and Sand, Operation Flashpoint, B-Boy on PSP, Modified Air Combat Heroes, I guess, for PSP, I guess that's maybe a jet fighter game. We have Rugby, Mobile Forces, Beckham Soccer. So these aren't acclaimed single player action adventure RPG games like Fable. So, all right, he has no history of this. Where have we seen this before? And I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys the trailer for this game. But the issue that I have is there has been games recently that have been worked on by studios who don't specialize in those games. These publishers think you can just take someone and say, oh, you're a game dev, work on this, and they can just do it. No, it doesn't work like that. The thing with why we don't have PlayStation games coming out right now is because the former, now retired, head of PlayStation wanted I'm forgetting the name of it. The multiplayer games that you can the always online multiplayer games that you can keep charging. Things like Suicide Squad. It's I can't believe it's leaving my head now. But yeah, they want those online multiplayer games. You can always be charging stuff. They were going to try and turn The Last of Us into an always online game. They were going to try and turn Spider-Man, as you may have seen with the Spider-Man online web. It was called Web something. I have a video on my YouTube channel. Check it out. They're going to make that an online game, and these studios like Insomniac and Naughty Dog, they told them, hey, we're a single player studio. We don't make these online multiplayer always online games. We can't do it. What you can't, like, this is not going to work. And an example on Xbox's side, so Redfall, people joining the Redfall team, they thought they were going to make Prey 2 or Dishonored, and they're like, no, you're making an online multiplayer game, always online. You need to keep providing content for it. And they're like, oh, fuck, this isn't what I signed up for. I'm not good at this stuff. And it was shit, and they didn't care about it. Another one, Suicide Squad. Rocksteady, they wanted to make, not Suicide Squad, they wanted to make a Superman game, a single-player Superman game. But Warner Brothers said, no, you're making a online multiplayer game, or we can monetize it. And look what we got. And it's just a popular trend right now where a lot of publishers are making their developers make these online games instead of single player games what they're good at. So this is why I'm worried, because you can't take a studio that has only made racing sims and say, hey, we have this game called Fable. It's not like a big, massive RPG type. It's like more action adventure with some RPG elements. But we're going to need you to make a new Fable. The last team that made Fable for us, we got rid of them back 2016. Lionhead Studios, we shut them down in 2016. We're going to need you to make a Fable game. I know you've never done anything like this before, but we need you to do it. They have no experience doing this, and I just don't think it's going to turn out well, especially if it's rushed out the door as well. So I know they're gonna have to delay it, because I don't think they're making this game for the first time ever. The first action adventure RPG, whatever you want to call it, not a racing sim. And because they're just used to every other year pumping out a Horizon game, now they have to make this, and I wouldn't be shocked if they're not hitting deadlines, because it can't just go smooth when you're making an RPG with dialogues and everything, and storylines and quests, and keeping it engaging. You have to make a whole combat system. And I tried a Horizon demo once, so I don't know this, but if it had cutscenes, but if not, they have to then do cutscenes too, and just a bunch of other stuff, spells, upgrades, combat system, quest lines, storylines, dialogues. I don't have faith, especially under Microsoft's wing. I don't have faith. All right. And yeah, so that's why I'm worried right now. And yeah, like I said in the beginning, we can get to the character here that they have, and it's just annoying. It's just this game, if it started in 2020 or 2022, which I really think it started in 2022. They have not been working on it that long. This is the character that we got. This right here. I mean, if you're gonna make another leading female character, at least make them attractive. I remember playing Fable 2. I didn't play the first Fable, but I played Fable 2 and Fable 3. I played it in high school. Fable 3 was at the end of my last year of high school. Fable 2 was the end of my first year of high school. I was a 15-year-old kid. In Fable 2, you had this young teenage boy character, not really a personality. He was just going through this adventure, and he was just going through this adventure, and you can make good choices and become like an angel, or you can make bad choices and start to grow like demon horns and be evil. And it was really cool seeing your character uh change and evolve based on your decisions. This empty vessel character that I really saw myself in, because the boy was kind of like, I assumed was around my age, like 15. And it was really cool. And this character right here, I will not connect with in any way, shape, or form. So yeah, that's the video, guys. I just don't think this game has been in development that long. The studios and the studio head, especially, they're not experienced in this type of stuff, and they're trying to use their engine to make a completely different game than a racing sim game. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.